Hey guys, it's me. Yes, and I'm out on yet another wild camp. And if you don't know me already, my name's Darren Ellis, aka Wild Camper 1967. So if you want to find out where I'm going, stick around and watch this video. And if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button. So let's crack on with the camp and cue the credits. Hi guys, yes, it's me, and as you can see, I'm out on another wild camp. I think the fact that I'm overloaded with kit slightly gives it away, and I've brought out a sort of new tent I'm going to try out today. Why I say sort of new tent is that I've had it for about a year. I've spoken about it in previous videos and I've never used it. It's the berghaus one, and you will see why I decided not to use it, because it's not what I would say ideal for stealth wild camping. But I decided to bring it out and give it a go, and I will tell you all about it later on. But to my location, well, that you're gonna have to keep watching and then find out. But you will find out soon, because I'm almost where I need to go, but I'm not quite sure what area of this place I'm going to camp to. But ahead of me is the White Horse at the moment, so this is going to be the third area I've been that has a white horse on it, and you can only just see it at the moment. It's badly overgrown, so there's no point me showing you. So I'm going to climb up this hill because it's quite a steepish ascent up here, and then I will get back to you for a bit more of a chat. I wish you guys could see how steep this incline is walking up this road. It's a bit of a trek, and I've still got more to do. It's all the way up to where I'm going, like this. and then to what I'm looking for. I've still got more hills to go climbing up and down. I haven't been up here for some time, and I've totally forgotten how steep this road is. And when you've got around, I guess, 20 kilograms today on my back, it's hard going. And on top of that, I had to come out on a day that is slightly on the warm side. I know that there's one thing that the weatherman said about possible heat wave. When the weatherman tells you a possible heat wave, you know it's going to rain or snow or just anything really. Hit or miss with our weather. But today they've got it right. It is very, very warm. And hold on, let me cross over here and I'll give you an indication of where I'm going. There you go, and I'm heading, I will let you know now, to Roundway Hill. I'm also trying out this plug-in wireless mic that you plug into the microphone part of the Rode Wireless Go. So I hope quality sound and that the wind isn't going to totally distort what I'm saying. So it's something I will find out once I get home and check, excuse me, I'm out of breath, check all the videos out on the laptop when I get home. So feel free to let me know what you think of how well the sound is with the little plug-in. I don't know if you can just see it there. Might have heard the tap. Well, I hope you did. If not, I've got no sound. I'm going to start all over again. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button. It's free of charge to do so, and it will help my channel grow. I'm still up to 26 subscribers at the moment, so it's slowly growing, but I am getting views on my videos, and that is all that matters to me at the end of the day, that you guys are interested in watching what I'm posting. Let me see if you can see the scenery behind me. This is where I am. I'm quite high up now, and I got a funny feeling I took the wrong turn in. It should have been up the other road, but I'm going to keep plodding on up this hill to see where it leads. At the end of the day, I hadn't really set a plan on where I was going to camp to anyway, so it's a case of wherever I end up is where I camp, and I'm hoping I can find a wood. Did you notice the hint on the bottom part of my backpack of why I do not use the berghaus tent I'm taking with me today for wild camping? You might have to skip back a little bit to have a look, but I've strapped it to the lower part of my backpack because it is quite a bit of a bulky tent, and it is on the heavy side. I think it's just over 2.5 kilograms. So if you skip the video back a little bit, you will see the colour of the tent. And I think I may have found these small wood. I don't know if it's suitable for camping. You can see it just behind me there. I'm going to go and check it out to see if there's some around here with me. But let's hope I don't get too hot and stuffy in the night. And I can see the hare. He's staring right at me. There's no point in me spinning the camera around for you to see it, because you won't pick up on it. But yeah, he's hopping around. He's run off after he stood up and started looking over towards me. And here is that little bit of a woodland. I'm not quite sure yet. It looks quite thin. So I'm not actually going to be well hidden. But it looks quite flat in there, and it might have to be a make-do camp. I'm going to keep on trekking. I've got plenty of time. I've still got quite a few hours of daylight left. It's only around about 2 o'clock now. So yeah, I can still hike on for a bit longer if I want. It's my little spot to have a rest, because I seriously need a drink. I've been drinking water. What a hot chocolate. Never get up my life for this. And hold on, let me spin you around. You see the hills in the background? Yes, it totally contradicts what I said about Wiltshire being incredibly flat. There are hills around here, but nothing like mountains or anything. A pheasant just jumped through a point. But yeah, we've got no mountains or anything like that. But we do have some hilly roads. There's some nice open country, as you can see. You look around. The scenery in Wiltshire's not too bad. I'm now in that little wood, having a look around, and I found a few flat spots which are quite suitable for camping. There isn't a great deal of coverage, as in the trees. I'm going to be slightly exposed to the winds and to people probably seeing me. Anyone did come up there. I'm not setting up yet anyway, it's too soon. So I'm going to just get my chair out, try and find out how far in the bag my gas canister is, because I'm going to make a drink, sit down and relax and enjoy the views for an hour or so. And I might just wander around a bit more, see if there's any other places. But looking at this wood, yeah, I'm going to give this wood a try. There's plenty of open views around me. It seems quite a nice spot, so yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to leave you guys alone for a moment, and I'll come back to you later to update you on what I've set up, show you the tent. I'm going to start clearing the spot here because it's all like cob nuts on the floor, or what they're called, beech nuts, sorry, they're beech nuts. So I'm going to clear the area and then get my gas canister out, make a drink like I said. So hope you keep watching, and remember to give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, you will help me out quite a lot by clicking that button. My channel grow, and I will update you on more kit as it goes along, as I progress, as I do anyway. I also have brought out a little bit of kit, but it's nothing to do with camping. I decided to go out and buy a DAB radio. It cost me £10. That is all, digital radio. And the only reason I brought one is to save the battery on my phone from listening to the music over there, and I can just keep this on off for the night, just as background music if I want it on. It's got absolute 80s on it. If you don't like 80s music, I'm sorry, you've got no taste. Yeah, I grew up with 80s music, that is my type of music. all the new romantics, all the electro pop, you name it, all that stuff. That's me, all over. Okay. So if you don't like that type of music, stop watching this video. I ain't joking. Right, I'm going to leave you guys now, like I said, and I will speak to you soon once I set this tent up later on, so you can see what I mean about the colour. And I will tell you the good points and the bad points about having this tent. No, I haven't set up yet, and I decided to have one of these dead man's fingers, which is spiced rum and coke. Can't be bothered to dig through my bag at the moment and to get out the cooking stuff, so I thought I'll have it's low alcohol. Well, I say low alcohol, it's 5%. I'm only going to have one at the moment. It's just to quench it first. I'm sat there, I put my jacket on because it got a bit breezy, as you know, as you can hear. But the temperature dropped once I stopped walking, and I'm in the wooded area part. It got really chilly, so yeah, I'd put this on now, keep. And I thought I'd just come back on before I start setting up, have a little chat, because I watch quite a few people's videos on YouTube. I've subscribed to quite a few people just to pick up tips and hints of wild camping. And I watched two videos recently, one by Lundy, loved the new camp you got there if you watch this video, bud, and English Woodsman, and both of them pointed out how they had received some very nasty comments. Why? What on earth would you want to leave nasty comments on someone's site or on their channel? If you don't like what you're watching, don't watch it. Simple as that. I believe the English Woodman has nasty remarks because he's dyslexic. What sort of person in their right mind would post something nasty on his channel because of his issue? It's not as if he's, you know, abnormal or anything. There's nothing wrong with him. He's dyslexic. It's a common thing these days. More and more people now are being diagnosed with dyslexia. In the past, yeah, you've been classified as, well, I'm a bit thick. But it's not like that now. Science has moved on, technology has moved on, education has moved on, everything has moved on since that period of time when you, if you couldn't read properly, you were seen as being thick. But no, it's not the case. You know, my partner's dyslexic. She has issues because lettering jumbles up. She's not thick. It's just the fact that the lettering, what she reads, sometimes jumbles up. And if I spell something to her, I have to spell it slowly. It doesn't make her a stupid person. So why on earth would somebody put a really nasty comment on the English Woodsman site because he's dyslexic? You know, makes you wonder what sort of people do go on YouTube. So, English Woodsman and Lundy, if you do watch my video, which I hope you do, let me know if you do, okay? I hope you reported it to YouTube, and if YouTube's got any morals and the evidence of what they said is very nasty, I hope YouTube kicks them off the channel. You know, at the end of the day, if you are spreading slander or threatening someone or whatever type of nastiness you put on YouTube, that is evidence of a criminal offence, and that person can possibly, maybe, be prosecuted for whatever it is they are writing. So these people who post nasty comments on your channel clearly don't have the intelligence to realise that they are providing evidence of their behaviour. These people are not worth bothering with. So Lundy and English Woodsman, don't let them get to you. They're idiots. They're not worth thinking about or bothering about. You know, they haven't even got the intelligence to realise that they're leaving a trace of evidence behind them. All you got to do is screenshot it, and if it's that bad, hand it to the police. If they've registered on YouTube, they would have registered with possibly a legitimate, didn't get the word out there, a legitimate email account. That email account possibly could be traced back to them. So, you know, these people are a bit dim. Keep up the good work, Lindy. I would love to see what your next video brings regards to your new camp you're building. Starting to look impressive. And the English Woodsman, keep up the good work, bud. But that's my whinging and whining over about dickheads leaving nasty comments on your channel. I'm going to crack on with this. Think about having a little bit of a snack. I don't know what I'm going to have yet. I brought bits and pieces with me, quite a bit today. And then I might think about putting up the top. So I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I hope you are still with me, still watching the channel. You haven't swiped off and just buggered off and left me. So keep watching if you're still there. And I would like to also thank every single person who've watched all my videos. And before I forget, I want to pick your brains. I watched some of these experts, as I've told you in the past, regards to YouTube and its analytics and all that stuff. And one of the people I watched spoke about posting videos at certain times. If you want to post your videos that are on a child element, teenage element, etc, etc, you post it at a certain time. If you are posting as in you want adults to watch your channel, you post it from say 7 o'clock, between 7 o'clock PM to 11 o'clock PM. Now I always thought that was a bit of a an expert waffle. But I posted one of my short videos, as you may have seen it, well I hope you have, about my kit that I use for filming. And I posted it during the day, and it went on, I think in the afternoon somewhere, and I only got 5 views on it. And I thought, well, posting it about all the equipment I use to film probably would have quite a few views. So is the element of what they're saying about posting it at a certain time true? Is it a case of if I post my videos during the day, YouTube are only promoting it to teenagers and children, whereas if I post it in the evening, YouTube is posting it to adults? Now, my channel is being clicked on not suitable for children. One, because occasionally I do end up swearing a little bit. My apologies to any ladies that's watching. And I don't wish to target children to promote my videos. My gain here is to promote what I'm doing to adults and hopefully encourage you guys to go out and do the same thing I'm doing and the same thing as many others do on YouTube, if you haven't started doing it already. So is it a case that YouTube are only posting videos out to certain people at certain times, as long as it's suitable for what they think it should be classified as going out to certain people, if that makes sense? It doesn't make sense to me, but I know what I'm on about. Which, in the case, it means that YouTube isn't a case of clicking on a video and watching it because you want to watch it. It is clicking on the video because YouTube has posted it to you, so you want to watch it, or hopefully want to watch it, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place at the moment, but never mind, it's awful. So yeah, it's something for you to think about. Do you post your videos, if you're out wild camping, so they are going online later in the day, or do you post them at any time of the day? Does it make a difference on how many people view your channel? So let me know if anyone has had the same experience. Well, that's it. I'm going to finish off this and do what I said I'm going to do. I am going now, honest, I promise, alright? Well, tent set up, and now you probably can understand why I haven't used it. It's a bit on the red side. It's not the most stealthiest tent you can have when it's within camping. From here you can't really see much of it, so I did my best to try and hide it. It was a purchase I thought was a good idea at the time. It's got a hydrostatic head of 5,000, so that's what attracted me. In this country, you're guaranteed to stay dry. It's also brilliant and strong transparently. It's meant to be a 3 to 4 season tent. Handles wind quite robustly because it's designed and it's 3-pole structure, but I've never got around to using it. So this is going to be the first time I've used this tent tonight. I do believe they do it in a green, but I haven't seen it yet. If I can find a green one, I might buy that. But tonight, I'm going to try out this one. So let me show you about what I'm on about on the inside, on the negative sides, because I did tell you, I will tell you the good points and the bad points. First negative point, it's a typical 2-man tent. They describe it as a 2-man, but I wouldn't say it's brilliant at being a 2-man tent. A very, very roomy 1-man tent, yes, I would put it down as being one of that, and just that, a roomy 1-man tent. And the other issue is, a bit like the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2, no, Cloud Up 2, sorry, the door, there's only one door, so if you had 2 people in there, there is going to be an issue with cooking. If both of you needed to cook something or wanted to sit in the doorway, you can't. There is also the fact that once you're in there, on your own, you've got room for your backpack and everything else. If you've got 2 people in there, you're going to be tight for space for 2 backpacks. So obviously, it's all going to have to stay out in the porch area, vestibule area, whatever you wish to call it. Now, like the Cloud Up, if you've got 2 backpacks and your boots in that entrance end, you're going to struggle to get in and out of this tent, same as you would the Cloud Up. So this is why I say it's just a good roomy 1-man tent, not a 2-man tent. And I don't know why they always say a 2-man tent. Politically, is that wrong or right? Can you still call it that? Is it a case of you now have to say a 2-person tent? You know how things are so PC these days. The other thing I don't like about this tent, which you will see right at the back, is where the lamp hook is. So it's down by your feet end, because obviously that is too low for you to sleep at. So it should be much higher up, possibly up here by the doorway, not right the way down there where your feet are going to be. But as you can see, it's a solid wall tent, a little bit of ventilation there. The door is solid, but it's got a zipped panel, so you can have it quarter, I think it is, of mesh if you want to. You've got the 2 large pockets either side, so that's a good thing. And you've got, I believe, one here stuff pocket for the door. So I don't know what your opinions are on this tent. Mine are twofold. Yes, I like it. I like the design, but there are certain things that needs changing on it. One, the position of where that hook is, and the colour. Definitely the colour. It's 100% colour needs changing. It is too red, so I will have to look it up and see if I can find it in green. The other issue with the tent, in my opinion, is the weight, because it's just under 3 kilograms. I think it's 2.75, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look it up. So it is a weighty tent for the size of it. That might not bother some people, but all the other tents I have are all under 2 kilograms. Even the Wild Country Helm 1 compact. It's just under 2 kilograms in weight. I have been trying to find a Helm 2, but they seem to be quite hard to get hold of. I haven't checked out the Wild Country site itself, but for some reason, if you go onto the direct site, they seem to be much more expensive compared with going on other sites. Even though it's the same tent, I don't know why this is. I've only been looking on eBay because I pick up quite a few bargains on there. I might have to just check out Nature Hike itself, not Nature Hike, sorry, Wild Country itself, and see if they do have the Wild Country Helm 2 compact. I know they do the 3 on eBay, but I think that's going to be a bit too big, and that is around 3 kilograms in weight, maybe just over. I don't want to increase on weight. I'm not one of these ultralight nuts. No, I'm not into it. It has to be a certain weight and all that rubbish. I'm quite happy to have a 2.5 kilogram tent, as long as it meets the specification that I need for wild camping. So it's not about weight. I just don't want to go over 3 kilograms on a tent. Because at the end of the day, once you've loaded up all your other bits and kit, as you would know if you do wild camping, it all soon mounts up. And it's not about trying to reduce the amount of weight to be an ultralighter. It's just reducing some of the weight so you don't put too much strain on your back and shoulders. I know if you got your rucksack set up properly, it shouldn't, but it does. I get issues with my back quite a bit. That's due to injuries over the years. BMXing as a kid, mountain biking as you got older, horses. So it does struggle a little bit carrying heavy weight on my back. I do just lay up. I am going to start wearing a lumbar support. See if that helps. But if you know of any good ways of curing a backache, please let me know. Because I'll tell you what, my job I do now does give me a backache. It's worth it. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. It's fun. People are brilliant. Money's good. But I do end up going home most evenings very sore. But that's enough of that. Well, I'm going to crack on with this tent, peg it out a bit more, tighten it out. I've only just roughly put it out to show you. And I will start thinking about sorting the bits and pieces out, because I've got to get the bedding in. And before I finish, I want to have a little chat about this tarp I've been using, made by DD Hammocks. I've used it a few times now, so I can safely say I can do a review on it. I'm not too keen on it, to be honest. One of the issues I have with it, let me see if I can reach. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe somebody knows, these straps are so long all the way through the center, whereas the outer ones aren't. It's just the 3 middle ones are extremely long, so you have to wrap it round your paracord. And the other thing I don't like about it is there are no holes, studded holes, whatever you want to call them, in the end. I think my other tarp, the cheaper one, has them. It would be nice to have those rings in there, the brass rings, so you can tie up on there as well. So yeah, those two things I'm not impressed with on this tarp. So I might bring the other one. I can't remember what it is. It's a Vontox or Vonox, but I'm going to bring that one out on my next camp. So that's my reviews on this tent. It needs the rings in it, as I said, on each tie-out point, and those 3 straps in the middle need to be a hell of a lot shorter to be practical and useful for when you're tying it up. But that's it, that's what I think of this tent. It's okay, but it's not as good as my cheaper one. I'm just going to go into the top, set up all the bits and pieces, put my mat out, and I brought the OEX out again, so I'm going to give that another go, see what that's like. 2 nights camping on it should determine whether I think it's okay. First time I used it went quite well, it was comfortable. I did find it a little bit slippery, but maybe it's because I went on a perfect level surface, I don't know. But it wasn't noisy, it wasn't that crinkly, it feels it when you first handle it, it does that, it's, you know, it's hot, it's like plasticky sound, you know, when you scrunch up plastic. But when you're sleeping on it, it didn't make much noise, and I did find it quite comfortable. So second night's camp with it should determine whether it's worth keeping or not, or telling you guys, yes, it is worth a look if you want to get a cheap mat. But that's it for now. I'm just going to go on, set all this stuff up and get ready, because I might start cooking shortly. Thank you for watching so far. Don't forget, give that video a thumbs up for me and click that subscribe button. That's it, all set up already. I don't know if you can see, hold on, let me put my light on. This is what I was on about. Very little room in here once you got all your kit. So yeah, I would not say this is a 2-person tent. It's just a very roomy 1-person tent, and well, that's what I bought it for anyway, so that's what it's going to get used as. Now the vestibule size or porch is quite a good size on it. Hold on, let me spin you around. There you go, it's quite big, isn't it? It does drop down to the slope. The top part of the door up here, if you can't see, does unzip, so you can bring that down to add ventilation in here. Ventilation. Get me words out. But yeah, the vestibule area or porch is quite large on it, and it does have here a bit of a ground sheet to go right up to the doorway as well. And over here, well, that's my selection for tonight. I've already drank that one and I'm on the second one there now. I'm now going to start planning on cooking something. I've got some of my burgers here and some onions, so I might do that. You know, I will not end up filming it, because you see that all the time with people, and I've done it a few times. But tonight I'm just going to crack on with it. So, what do you think so far of this tent? It is roomy for 1 person. It's got a good vestibule area. The only other issue is the head height. My head is touching the top in here. See, in the nature hike and the wild country, there is quite a bit of head height in it. But then this is just designed to be, in one aspect, a mountaineering tent. So it's ideal for being protected from strong winds, because of the design of it, the winds just go whoops straight over the top. I don't know what it'd be like in snow. I don't plan on taking it out in that, and I can't see us getting any snow, especially this time of the year. So yeah, it's okay. It's passable. I'm just going to use it once. I just wanted to try it out, that's all. Food is now demolished. I've had quite a bit, and I've been relaxing in the tent listening to the 80s DRB station. I can't remember what it's called. Absolute. I think it's called Absolute Station. Something like that. Absolute Stereo or whatever. And I'm now relaxing in the chair, in the Trichology chair. And I've also plugged in the Movo shotgun mic, because I want to try that out and see the quality of sound of that with the dead cat on it. I've gone through the videos so far, and what you can hear, there are some distortion from the wind. even using the small dead cat on the wireless Go. Now basically it's not the wireless system I'm using, because I know that works fine. So it's obviously the dead cats do not work very well unless you buy the high-end ones. So I'm not sure what to do. Persist with just wasting money on trying to find a dead cat that's suitable, or just try and face out of the wind when I'm walking up steep hills. But I will admit that one point, walking up the hill, especially coming to this wood, the winds were quite strong. Even though it was warm, the gusts that were blowing were very, very strong. So it's probably, doesn't matter what sort of dead cat you use, microphone muff, whether it's a good one or not, it probably would have still picked up the sound. I don't know. I don't really know a great deal about sound systems in dead mics and, you know, dead muffs, cats and all that rubbish that you put on it to block out all the wind. Maybe somebody who watches this has some ideas. I will also apologise for not actually doing much videoing. There are times when you just want to go out and do a camp without having to ass around doing all the filming, messing around with your camera, making sure your batteries are charged and everything else you have to do. There are times you just want to enjoy what you're doing. Yes, it's nice to share with you guys everything I do, but you know, there are times when you just want to laze out and be totally on your own, away from various bits and pieces, the hustle and bustle of life, like I've said in the past, and everything else like that. And even technology. Yes, I've been using the DRB or DAB station radio, which is technology, but it's just a radio I'm listening to. But when you're messing around with cameras and everything else, you're not really fully escaping all that technology style things that you're trying to get away from in life, which we're all surrounded by. Like I said in the past, my phone doesn't get used. It's only for an emergency system. I let my partner know exactly where I am, and that's it. Phone gets switched off, and it will only get switched back on tomorrow morning when I'm on my way out, which is just in case I have an accident. Other than that, I don't use my phone. So the only technology I use when I'm out camping is film equipment. So there are occasions when you just don't want to bother to do it. You just want to be back to basics and just relax and enjoy everything around you, like I said. And I bet you thought you'd got away of not hearing one of my tacky jokes. Well, sorry to disappoint you, you're not escaping today. Right, so here goes. Two nuns and a Mother Superior driving along the road. The Mother Superior hits an oily patch on the road, loses control of the car. The car verges down an embankment and hits a tree, and all three are killed instantly. The next thing all three know is they are at two white pearly gates. Standing at the gates is an angel. An angel looks at the two nuns and the Mother Superior and says to them, "Before I let you in, I'm going to have to ask you one question each because of your place within the church." So he looked at the first nun and said, "The question I want to ask you, who died upon the cross for our sins?" The nun looked at him, smiled and said, "That's easy, that is our Lord Jesus." The angel looked at her and said, "Correct." The gates opened and he said, "You can go in." The angel then looked at the second nun and says, "I have a question for you. Who was the person that God asked to build an ark?" She looked at him, smiled and said, "That was Noah." And the angel said, "Correct." And the gates opened and she went in. He finally looked at the Mother Superior and said, "Because of your ranking within the church, your experience and your knowledge, the question I will ask you is going to be a very difficult question. The question is, when God created Adam, he saw Adam needed a partner.
So he created Eve. So what was Eve's first words when she saw Adam? The Mother Superior looked at the angel and said, "Cool, that's a hard one." And the angel looked at her and said, "Correct." The gates opened and she went in. There you go, there's a tacky joke for you. So my videos aren't overly exciting, sorry, but I do the best I can, and I'm basically doing the camps just to show you what I do, the equipment I use, the cost of it basically. It's all budget friendly. It's not going to break your bank if you want to try it out. And now it's just experiment with other bits and pieces of kit that I pick up from time to time. And my tent does stand out from here, and I'm from quite a distance from it. Hold on, I'll spin you around so you can see. I do not know if you can see it there, but to me that stands out massively. That's the reason why I do not use it as a wild camping tent. It's too red. It's not a tent that you can be very stealth-like in, not really. So I only brought it out just to try it out because I've never used it, and I probably will not use it again after this camp. For a start, there's not much headroom in it, like I said, so it will probably go in the cupboard, and I will stick with the nature hike or the wild country. I have been looking at the MSR tents. Yes, I know they're not classified as sort of budget, but they probably will be because they're under £400. So I might invest in one of those. I don't know yet. I'm still looking. I'm still not going to spend out a fortune on Hillyberg. End of story. I'm not spending what, £1,000 or more for a tent, not to do what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm not going to go extreme on what I buy. But yes, as I said, the MSR looks okay. But the thing is, I prefer the tent which you can set the outer up first. And the MSRs that I've been looking at the 350, 400 mark, they're all in a setup, and then you have to throw your fly sheet over the top. Now yeah, that's fine when it's on dry conditions, but if you got a complete and utter downpour of rain coming down and you're trying to set your tent up, the inner part of your tent is going to get very wet quickly. So that's what puts me off. I've gone off the idea of a trekking pole tent, so I'm not going to bother with one of those. One reason is that they are mainly, what I've seen, single skin tents, and I do not want a single skin tent. The whole idea of the fact that the condensation build up inside and you are going to come in contact with that, it does not appeal to me. So that idea I decided to scrap. Yes, I know Lanshan, I think it's Lanshan, do a double skin trekking pole tent, but yeah, I'm going to stick with just regular tents. I'm not going to bother going ultralight. Also thought I'd just stop and show you this view. If it wasn't for all the buildings and the factory, or whatever it is, drain estate, it would be a really nice view. All those hills, I don't know where those hills are. I think it's only once you start doing wild camping you start to notice things like that. You take it for granted, all the lovely scenery that you have around you. When you go out for walks like this, you don't actually spend the time to look and take in everything around you. You're too busy with the hustle and bustle of your life. Work, pay bills, work, pay more bills, work, pay more bills, and so on and so on. That vicious circle that you don't take out really much time for yourself. And that's why I do wild camping. I know it might come across a bit selfish, the fact that wanting time to yourself, but you've got to be able to give yourself space that you can relax in. And if going out doing wild camping helps you relax, then do wild camping. That's what I do. I come out here on my own, peace and quiet, and enjoy it. It's why I do solo camping. I'm not being antisocial or anything like that. It's just the fact that I like the peace and quiet. And yes, I am talking to a camera, which then is directed to you guys. But I'm on my own. I'm out here, and I don't really have to hold a conversation with anyone. It's one of those things where you just can spend your time talking to a camera, as you do when you're doing YouTubing. Or if you're not doing YouTubing, you can just spend your time lazing out, relaxing, doing nothing, and just enjoying everything around you, the peace and quiet. the hassle-free way of life. And this is why I said I do wild camping. I enjoy that relaxation time. I've now opened a Shipyard American Pale Ale as I sat back down in my Trichology chair. It's not bad. It's about $5.50 I think for about 4 cans. So yeah, it's okay. It's not bad for a reasonably cheap ale. I'm not into all these fancy IPAs, as you know. I've said previously in some of my videos. I don't see the point in all these fancy things, spending all this money, but I think about nearly £3 just for 1 can, and just because it's got a fancy name on it. I think it's a bit of a fashion statement at the moment. We all go through it. Everyone does it, you know. There isn't one person on YouTube or life in general who will not end up following a trend. Everybody, I've done it in the past, fashion wise, you know. Believe it or not, I went through a stage of all like the new romantic sort of like goth punk sort of stage. Quite miss those days actually. Music was brilliant. I like the music now, which is totally rubbish. No style to it. No future as well. How many people can name a band that were in the charts a year ago? Not many. Most bands nowadays, well, they're not even bands, are they? Most of the singers that are put together via basically a job interview last, what, 6 months? Whereas people like Robert Smith, The Cure, they're still going. And, you know, he started, what, 1978? And he's still singing. Okay, he looks a bit of a mess now. Sorry, Robert, if you get shown this. But I am a big fan of The Cure. So yeah, I do like your music. If you watch this, alright? You've still got a good voice. I also like a little bit of Wednesday 13, but that's not to everyone's taste. If you've not ever listened to Wednesday 13, how can I describe it? I would literally, you're going to have to listen to it, seriously. It's a softer version of Cradle of Filth, which I quite like them as well, and Murder Dolls. But that's just waffling on about bits and pieces. I have to update you on a piece of kit I have bought, but I haven't received it yet. In the past, years ago, when I used to go out doing camping, wild camping, first person I used to go out with was a guy called Jez, and we always did it with bashers and hammocks. He used to take his kids with him. I took my daughter a couple of times when she was younger, because she had like the army mosquito tent with a basher over the top. And we always had a campfire, because you need a campfire. And then I used to also go out with my brother, younger brother sometimes, took him wild camping. We always had a campfire, cook around the campfire, and you just sit around it. It makes a camp. And one of the things I don't do is have campfires since I started up wild camping again. There's 2 reasons. One, I don't want to literally ruin the ground of where I go to each time, because when I do my videos I'm going to different areas, whereas when I used to go out with Jez and go out with my brother, there was 2 different woods we used to go to all the time. One we had permission, and one was just like take your chances and see if you get caught by the gamekeeper. But we had a proper fire with stones around it, so it was kept in one area. Whereas when I'm out now, I'm going from different woods to wood, as you know, and I don't want to leave burnt patches on the ground here, there and everywhere to every place I go to. So what I've done, I've invested in one of those little mobile campfire things, little square titanium fire pit things. It's like a firebox, that's what it's called. So I'm going to, hopefully when it turns up, start using one of them to have that little element of a campfire, because it does make a camp. the only difference is it hasn't bothered me so much in doing it, because when you do solo camping, it's not quite the same sitting around a fire. Most of the time when you do it, when there's 2-3 of you, because you're sat around drinking beer or just chatting. But when you're on your own, you're just sat there. But I decided I would like to have a little campfire when I do my camps. Hence the reason I've invested in this little firebox. So hopefully it will be here very soon. So when I do my next wild camp, which I have not yet decided on where it's going to be, we'll be able to take that with me and show you that piece of kit. So keep an eye on my channel. Don't forget then, hit that subscribe button. Regarding my next camp, it's a case of trying to find a wood that I haven't been to yet. As you know, I don't do videos in the same place more than once. You don't want to see me camping in the same place twice, just because I might be using a different piece of kit. So it's a case of like going on Google and hunting out large woods around this area. And I don't mind doing the travelling, I just want to cover Wiltshire at present. There is Savernake that I'm still thinking of, because that's not too far away, and Westwoods, which is also not too far away. So maybe one of those could be the next spot on the agenda. You'll have to keep an eye on this channel. But for now, I am going to get in the tent, because it's getting a little bit on the chilly side now, and I didn't bring my fleece with me. I've only got my Decathlon top under here and a Decathlon t-shirt, but I do have a long sleeve thermal top, so I might have to put that on. So yeah, it's getting a little bit on the chilly side, so I'm going to just get in the tent, warm up, listen to the radio. I can't talk to you guys as well as listen to the radio, because YouTube might actually not be best pleased with me because of copyright, even though it's on the radio and you can play it out in public, which doesn't make sense. Odd rule. I don't know. It's just one of the things that people have to stick to and respect, which that's what you've got to do. That's why rules and regulations are there. You know, if you don't stick to them, you pay the price. Whether it's work related rules or legal rules, you know, they're there for a reason. So yep, so I will not play the radio whilst I'm doing my YouTube video. So you guys are going to have to go away for a bit and then relax, have a beer or something like that, and then I will come back and chat later to you. Okay, I hope you are still with me and still watching. You haven't just clicked off and got bored. If you are still watching, don't forget, give it the thumbs up if you like what you see so far, and like I said, hit that subscribe button. And before I start listening to my music, I thought I'd just quickly share this with you, the size of this porch vestibule area. As you can see, there's a hell of a lot of space in it. So yeah, it's a good tent on that grounds. It has a really nice vestibule on it, and like I said, I don't know if you can see this, bear with me, you can open that to look out, because you've got your little mesh window there. You can undo that because you've got the little flap here, so if it's hammering down with rain goes straight off. You can still have this open, airflow coming through, and no rain coming in the tent. Well, not a lot going on tonight. It's really quiet out here. I don't know if you just heard that, a pheasant. Last I've been hearing is pheasants. I heard a few deer, because they make a cough sound, and there are deer tracks around here, so I know I'm probably going to get disturbed by deer. Apart from that, it's really peaceful. And what can I say about this tent? It's too small. Okay, I've had to sleep at the narrow, put my head at the narrow end tonight, to go to sleep, because the ground looked really level when you first looked at it, but once you set the tent up you realise there is a slight slope and it's going downwards. So if I have my head at the door end, I'm going to be heads down sort of thing, slanted. So I'm going to sleep with my head at the narrow end. But there's not a great deal of head height in this tent as it is. But like I said, I'm only going to try it out once. It probably won't get used again. It gets stuffed in the cupboard. The next time I come out, it'll either be with the Helm one, or it will be with the Cloud Up. I quite like the Cloud Up because the size inside of it. So I am more swaying to the side of buying 2-man tents rather than a 1-man tent. But like I said, I am looking at the MSR. I think it's called the Elixir. Not quite sure without looking it up. So yeah, that might be the next tent I buy. If I can get hold of a Wild Country Helm 2 compact, then yep, I wouldn't mind another one of those. I quite like the structure of them. They're a solid tent, well made, good company as well, because it's made by the Terra Nova company. So you know it's not going to be a piece of rubbish. The MSRs I'm not sure about because I've never had one, so that's why I want to try out one of those. So that's probably going to be the next tent I buy. Well, hopefully. Well, that's about it I think for tonight. There's not a lot else to say. It's around 8:30, 8:45. I'm going to go out for a wander, see what it's like out there, see how clear the sky is. If it's a really clear night, I will let you know. But apart from that, I guess it would be in the morning the next time I speak to you guys. So I hope that you do enjoy this video once you watch it. Any comments you want to leave, yeah, feel free to do so. And like I always say, hit that subscribe button, helps my channel grow. I'll keep saying it, you know anyway. And also the thumbs up. Well, if you don't, you can give it the thumbs down, it's up to you. You are the judge of my videos, so yeah, I count on getting the truth from you guys. Okay, so just be honest. Yeah, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, alright? It'd be appreciated. And like I said, I've checked the videos that I've got on my camera so far, and yeah, the wind muff or dead cat on the clip-on mic has picked up quite a lot of wind. So I'm going to have to do some research there to find out how to stop that, because I've got the noise reduction set on the camera anyway to blot out quite a bit of the wind. So I don't know why the mic's picking it up. Whether it's set on really sensitive, I don't know. I'll have to look up the settings on it and see if I can drop them down. Could be just simply that I've got it set too high and it's picking up all the sound around. But then, like I said, it could be just a really cheap and nasty muff put on it, dead cat, because it didn't come with a microphone. I bought it separately, and I think it cost me about $2.99 for that tiny little fluffy thing, about that big. So maybe it's a case of investing in an expensive make. I don't know. When it comes to these wind cats, or whatever you want to call them, the wind muffs and wind blockers, I don't know what they're classified as. Are there any difference between a cheap one and an expensive one? You know, you think it should do the job. That's what it's there for. You know, if you're buying it to reduce the noise of the wind, surely that's what it should do, no matter what the price is. So yeah, I'll have to do some research on it and see if there's another way around it. Like I said, also, it could be the fact that I've got the Rose Go wireless set too high and it's picking up too much noise. Excuse me. I don't know until I check it all out. Well, that's it then, I guess, for tonight. So I will chat to you guys in the morning. thank you for watching so far, and good night.
Good morning. It is 8:30. I've had easily 8.5 hours sleep, 9 hours sleep. Good night's sleep as well. Not woke. Well, I woke up once for calling nature. No disturbance in the night, no foxes, nothing like that. So no excitement. Yay! The Fluxtel 5.0 OEX mat. 2 nights on it. I've used it now on 2 camps, and yeah, it's very, very comfy. And last night also, I only had my down pants on and my down booties, and I had to literally unzip my sleeping bag and use it as a quilt because I was so hot. So yeah, it was a really good night. The tent itself, very, very little condensation whatsoever. I think the only condensation I've got is in the storm flap over the door, and that's about it. But yeah, it's quite it's a good tent. Bit small and compact, that's the only problem. And like I said, I'll probably not use it again. I guess it's that time now to put some water on, boil it up for a drink, and start making something to eat, and then get organized and pack everything away. The long dull part of things is having to put it away and just go back to normality. Weather conditions out there, it's a little bit hazy on the hills in the distance, breezy, bit on the chilly side, but dry. It looks like it's going to be another good day. So yay, no rain. Like, I guess it's a case of now planning my next camp and where I'm going to be. Probably be not next weekend, probably about 2 weeks when I do the next one. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel. Like I say, hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date and follow me. It's not going to cost you a penny. Yes, ideally I would like to do a camp every weekend, but there are things to do at home. I cannot just go out camping all the time, or can I? Yeah, you got the bits and pieces I have to do. I've got to somewhere finish off the interior part of my summer house, get the plasterboard done and get it all sorted to make it look decent inside. I've also got quite a bit of decorating to do at home. Got to do the living room, finish off the spare bedroom. It's only a bit of painting on the woodwork and the door. So yeah, I've got to obviously do that at some point. So yeah, so every other weekend I do camping for a while and do bits and pieces on the weekend that I'm not camping. I better put that hot water on. I definitely need a drink to wake up. I'm still half asleep, as you might be able to tell. Wow, that's what you get when you get a really, really good night's sleep and relaxed. You just takes you a while to function. Well, it takes me a while to function. I'm now going to just get organised, start packing away after I've had some food and a drink, as I said, and then I will come back to you shortly after I've done all that. Right, there you go. All packed away. Weekend post policy as usual. Most of us get by. So, one of those can't be asked. Start learning from us. So, the idea of leaving no trace, like I said, is to create a good reputation between the landowner and wild campers. Stick by the leave no trace rule. No, there's no excuse for it. Carry a rubbish bag with you, small one, crush it all up. When I've got whatever it is, beer cans, Coke cans, whatever it is, stamp on them, crush them really small,
take up very little space, and then all you got to do is either take them home, put them in your bin when you go by, as obviously you're going to pass it, or stick it in the public bin as you walk down the streets. I'm now going to sit out here in my trichology chair for a little while and relax in the sun, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion, a review sort of thing on that Berghaus Chevrolet Tent 2, and I will be 100% honest. Like I said, I've had it I guess nearly a year, and I've only this is the first time I used it. Now it's made of a ripstop fabric, so that's brilliant. It's got a 5000 hydrostatic head, even better. The design of it means strong winds can hit it and it probably wouldn't phase it. It's quite a good strong tent. So all round that way, really good. Blackout inner helps for a better night's sleep, especially as the sun rises. Keeps you asleep a bit longer, as you can tell when I woke up at 8:30, roughly around 8:30, 8 o'clock this morning. But, and here is the but, it's red. I know there's a green version. I haven't seen one yet for sale, but yeah, I know there is a green version of it. But it's heavy. It's a heavy tent, and the pack size is large. I'll show you the pack size in a minute attached to my backpack. It's too big for what I want. What else can I say? It's definitely not a two-man tent. Not when you've got your gear inside it. It is too small for a two-man. It is a one-man tent, even though it's described as a two-man. No, it's not. The head height at the highest point, there isn't any, not really. My head touches the top of it. I'm 5'8", and my head touches the top of the doorway, so that's no good. You like a little bit of headroom. And the other issue I found is where they put the hook, or I take it is for your light. It's in such a stupid place, right at the lowest point at the other end. So if you're sleeping at that end, like I had to last night, simply because there is a slope that I camped on and you couldn't see it, you can't now. I had the light hanging in my face, so I didn't bother putting it there. I ended up hanging it on the outer zip door and only using the head torch. Yes, and I know you say, oh yes, you've got a head torch, but it's nice to have an inside torch that you can click on. So that's in the total wrong place. Would I use it again for camping? No, I'm not going to use it again. It's going to go in the cupboard, or it'll go in a plastic container and go in the loft. But I wouldn't use it again. It was just try it out and see what the tent was like, because I've never used it. So I better show you, like I said, the pack size, and you'll see what I mean about it being too big. So hold on. See what I mean? It is a large tent to be classified as a backpack tent. So yeah, it's too big, too heavy, and the design of it is not suitable for what I want. So yeah, I won't use it again. So if you guys got any ideas of a reasonably decent mid-range budget tent and ideas of what to try out, drop me a comment. I've got, like I said, I've got the OEX Bobcat. Brilliant backpacking tent. It's a bit small, but it's perfect for pitching in very, very small areas. It takes up very little room. It's a quick and easy tent to set up. Strong tent, very waterproof, as I know, because I've been in some really strong downpours. So yeah, that's a brilliant tent to have if you're into backpacking. I've got the Wild Country Hound 1, as you know, if you've watched my videos. Packs down quite small, lightweight, really good tent, strong. That one I would also recommend. I do want to get the Helm 2 because I want a little more space, even though there is quite a bit of space inside. You can't get your kit all in it, but there is a little compartment. I say a little compartment, it's like a little vestibule area that's got a little tiny little door that you can unzip and just chuck your rucksack or whatever you want to chuck in there. But there, that's a really good tent if you're into backpacking and you want to see what tents to try out, if you haven't tried that one. And like I said in my last video, I was really pleased with the nature hike Cloud Up too. Huge amount of space in it. It's enormous compared with that one I've just used. Yeah, so that's the 3 tents I would use again. Maybe not so much with the Bobcat because of the size, because it is a bit small, and I do find that my backpack, rucksack, whatever you want to call it, gets chucked in the vestibule area, and I like it out of the way. If you stick it in the vestibule area, it's in the way, and yeah, I want somewhere I can keep that. So it's that's why I like the wild country, because like I said, I can stick it in that little back parts of the tent. The other thing I spoke about last night was the DD tarp from DD Hammocks, which I wasn't actually quite pleased with because of the 3 loops in the middle seemed too long, and the fact that it hasn't got any those eyelet holes in it. What I might do, I'm thinking, go on eBay, get one of those eyelet guns and see if I can put some eyelets in it myself, and then just tack up the straps a little bit on the top, and so I've got less slack in them, so to speak, so they're not, so I can use them properly. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can modify it a little bit. But the next camp I will bring out the Vontox, I think it is, or Vontex, I can't remember what the name is, but yeah, I probably will bring out that one. It's going to be more useful in the sense of tying it up than the DD is. DD is a good tarp. No, I'm not going to say it's not, but it's just those 2 little faults that I do not like. Those 3 loops are too big and no eyelets. It's now a case of just getting motivated to start making a move back to the car. I've got quite a bit of a long walk to do, probably about 2 miles, 2.5 miles. Luckily it's going to be all downhill this time, and then it's a case of, like I said, planning my next camp. So keep an eye on this channel, as I said. If you want to know where I'm going to, or want to keep up with my videos, click on that subscribe button. That's it then, time to go. Another camp over and done with here, and it's now the long task of walking all the way back to the car and hoping I can find it. Should be quite easy from here, because I took a different route to what I was meant to be taking and ended up in a completely, utterly different spot to where I was heading. But that's what wild camping is all about. And I'm also on my way home going to try out this movo mic. Forgot what it was all called then. See if it's any better than the Anderson, and let's see if the windsock or wind muff or dead cat, whatever you wish to call it, is any better than the one I used on my Rhodes Wireless Go. So yep, let's go. Right, that's one last look at the wood as I'm leaving, and I'm hoping this mic is going to be more successful regards to the windsock or wind muff, dead cap, and hope you can hear what I'm saying. And I forgot to say, when I woke up this morning, I had 2 deer walk by. They must have been about 3 meters, 4 meters away from my tent, and they took one look, realised I was there, and scarfed. So yeah, that is deer I've seen, a hare, and I had some buzzards as well this morning. You could hear them calling out as they were flying through the sky. And this is why I do wild camping. As I said, I would miss all that if I just sat at home. You know, you wouldn't appreciate it. This is why I do the camping, like I said. And as it's going to apparently get warmer now, hopefully, fingers crossed. I can get out there with a lighter kit. I don't need to take so much gear, because last night I didn't really need my down gear. I was so warm in my tent, like I said, I had to unzip my sleeping bag and use it as a quilt because I got so warm. So I might invest in a quilt rather than taking a sleeping bag when the better weather gets here, as I reckon the sleeping bag is going to be too hot. I do have a lightweight one. I have the Fathom 200, I think, which is a 1 to 2 season, quite a lightweight one, small compact bag. So whether I take that or, like I said, looking to get in a quilt, we will see, won't we? You just have to keep an eye on my channel to find out what I decide to do. But I do need to go on a hunt for another tent. I want to try out the MSR. Like I said yesterday when I was filming about thinking about getting one. See, I might try that one out. Don't know yet. But for now I'm going to stick with the Wild Country the next time I come out, or the Nature Hike Cloud Up. If it's a nice warm weather next camp, I will bring the Cloud Up because it's a lightweight tent and it's quite airy. But you'll have to keep an eye on the channel, won't you? And let me know how well you think the camp went. I know it wasn't over exciting, but there was elements there that could be classified as educational. I don't know. You'll have to tell me, won't you? Right, let's crack on because I've got a gate to climb now. Here's a little tip for you, because I've seen one YouTuber, I'm not mentioning his name, but he wears glasses. That is all I will tell you. When climbing over the gate, climb over where the hinges are, not in the centre of the gate. Hinges are a stronger point, it doesn't bend the gate. I know this because I grew up with farming, and I was always told, always climb a gate, if you can't open it, on the hinge part. If you climb on the centre part, there's a good chance you'll bend the gate. So climb the gate in the hinge part next time you do it, bud. You know who you are if you watch this video. Like your videos anyway. But that's a little bit of a hint for you. But a little tip, not a hint, alright? Hint was in the glasses, who he is. No, I lied. I have got a little bit of a hill to go up. It's not all downhill, but it's not too bad. As you can see behind me, you should be able to tell how steep it is. So it's only a little bit of an incline. Once I get to the top of it, then it will be all downhill from there. And I'm hoping you are picking up my voice on this mic, because it is quite windy today. Though it's really sunny and it's nice and warm, there is a wind blowing quite harshly. So you might be able to pick it up, or you're picking it up quite a bit. Depends on this wind muff, doesn't it? But it's the joys of walking out in the wild and in the open, and because I am fully in the open, I'm exposed to all the strong winds that will blow along here. And it is a really nice walk actually. I've never come this far down. Well, to be honest, I've never been this part. I came here by mistake. The part I was meant to be going was nowhere near here. But that's the joys of wild camping, like I say. It's not knowing where you're going to end up. Because, yes, I do a little bit of planning, but I don't always stick to it. You know, it's not set in stone that I have made a rule that I'm going to head towards certain wood and stick by it. If I feel like I want to keep going and find somewhere different, I'll just keep going. Doesn't matter how far I walk. Yeah, I get out of breath easy. After having COVID, like I said a while back in one of my videos, and I do get a lot of grief in my left calf muscle from an injury I had, but it's worth it. I don't care, you know. It's being out in that fresh air. That is what it's all about. So if you don't do it, get off your backside, start watching YouTube, and well, finish watching me first, and then get out, go out and do some walking. You have to do wild camping. Get out there and do a hike. Enjoy the wildlife, enjoy nature, rather than sitting there watching rubbish on telly. Now on my descent, it's all downhill, all the way back to my car. Yay, no more climbing steep hills or steep roads. And I'm going to share a little fact with you about Devizes. There is a very large stone red brick building just on the edge of the town centre. That building used to be a prison. Boy George once visited a friend who was in there in the mid, maybe late 70s, and I know this because Boy George told me himself. No, he didn't. If you believe that, you believe anything. I read it in his autobiography. Yeah, apparently Boy George, before he was known as the singer or the DJ, depends how you know him, he came here to visit his mate in prison. There you go, a little bit of a fact for you. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. It's in his first autobiography, I think it is, and that's how I know. And there you are, there's that sign again, the one you saw at the beginning when I first started heading up this hill. I'm now heading the opposite way, as in going down. So I'm going to head back to my car, and once I get there, the camp will be officially over. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. Give it a thumbs up if you do, and like I say, click that subscribe button, okay? You'll help my channel grow, and I will seriously appreciate it. So I guess it's time for me to make my way all the way back down there, all the way to my car. It's probably about, yeah, a mile and a half to go, and then that's it, all over for this camp. And there it is in front of me, the building I said about that used to be a prison. It was either a prison or a borstal. Now it's just luxury apartments. So that's the one that Boy George said he went to visit one of his friends in the 70s, mid or late 70s. But that's the old prison / borstal. Don't know if you can see it very well, but that's it. Back to the Mini. Now it's time to go home. So camp is finally over. So thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. I guess it's now just play the end credits.